G'day guys, that's just a quick account review for me in Season 3. So I guess Hero Gear is the first one we'll quickly touch on. So for me, where I'm currently sitting is I'm wanting to make sure that I'm getting ready for Season 4. So I've got my infantry hero with the area that I want it to be. Same with my archers, but my cavalry is kind of falling behind. So I'm not level 10 here, so that'll be my next one here is I'll go level 10. And then I'll go red onto this one, and then I'll increase the imbuement on that one, and that'll kind of start to sit into the Season 4 section. When it comes to the rest of the people, I've got two sets, so I've got the 3 main heroes, then I've got my 3 second heroes. They've only got level 1 on them, and these parts here of 50 for all of them, I'm going to be taking them off and then putting them onto the first heroes. I just store them there until I get enough to max out one of the primary heroes. The widgets for me are all on 7 for Season 3. I want them to be at 10, but really the money isn't quite where I want it to be to achieve that, so I'm kind of letting them slide there. And the rest of the heroes that just have blank. Okay. That's it. So that's my goal for the heroes. The idea for me is obviously that I want to try and balance it as much as possible, with the infantry being my main source because it's the one that's going to be absorbing all of the damage. Governor gear, this is something that I find most people don't understand. For me, with the calculation of lethality and attack equalizing each other, and also the defense and health equalizing each other, we need to have a look at how our charm upgrades are going against our gear enhancement. So on the main screen here, I can see that I've got 75 for attack and defense, and I've got 95 for lethality and health, and so that's a really bad, that's a 20% change between the two, so they're not balanced. So that's a really poor stat there. So I need to increase the governor gear on this particular piece until it's getting up towards that 90 position. So that's for my middle heroes, and that's because I've gone heavily into infantry all the time. I've got the same mistake over here. So I need to increase again my governor gear when it comes to the gear enhancements to get it up towards this 90 before I do anything with the charms again. So I need to rebalance these middle ones. All of the rest of them are all the same pretty much. So I've got 66 and 60 here. I've had a look and it looks like 553 for the gems is going to give me the equivalent of T1. So that's my next goal, is I'm going to move this gem that's level 4 up to level 5. Then I'm going to leave this. Then I'm going to move across to this one where they're all 333 for the gems. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go 5 and 5, leave that one at 3. So they'll be at 66 and roughly 65. And the same with cavalry because we're coming into cavalry next season. So I'll do the same. So it'll be 553, 553. So that's what I'm doing for my governor gear to try and balance it out to make sure that I'm getting the maximum amount of results. If you don't know what that means, 10 times 10 equals 100, which is much better than 11 times 9. So you need to understand, or 12 times 8 or 13 times 7. So you want to have it as balanced as possible. So 10 times 10 is going to give you or net a higher result. When it comes to research, again, we want to try and balance it. So have a look at your results and just see where they're sitting. Is the attack 80 sitting at the same as lethality 80? So I'm balancing all of these out. So I've got 80, 80, 91, 91. Okay, then in our cavalry, it's the same. 72, it's short here in our lethality. So my next step would be go to lethality for cavalry and make sure that I add the next step there. Defense is the same as health, which is good. Archers, attack is the same as lethality, and defense is the same as health. So they're all balanced. Same with my squad attack and squad defense. So that's what I'm doing for research, is making sure I balance all those out. Primarily though, if you haven't done it, I highly recommend doing the regimental expansion as one of your primary goals, is trying to max out it. It's hard, it takes a lot of effort, but it's really beneficial because the more troops you have, the more damage you have. It's that simple. So that's research. Pets, what have we got? So pets, I'm trying to lead towards the squad attack and squad defense at a higher value, which is sitting out there, which is good. So that means that the priority for me is to be upgrading these guys in terms of level higher than it is for me to go for their refinement. Okay, so the refinement for me is not as important as it is for advancing. All right, so I want them to advance. Now out of Season 3, the only thing I really care about is this guy. I want to get him up as high as possible. So my main goal here is the grizzly bear, to get him up so I can max him out when it comes to the results for the lethality. March speed, and lethality. So that's my pets, and then finally with the island. With the upgrade, obviously I've got the world's worst island. We won't talk about that. It's just structured so I understand it completely. If you've got this shrine here, please do not use any water on it. Only use these parts. It's much cheaper if you use the parts than it is the water. So only do your brave shrine with your little island parts here. The mythic general decorations, don't do it with water. It's a waste. You lose a lot of water for that. So my primary goal here is to upgrade all of the main infantry, archer, and cavalry buildings at the front here. And then once they're at level 6, so that level 10 is the maximum, but I want them to all go to level 6. So I'm working on this one here. It's going to be up, and then I'll finally go to the cavalry level 6. Then I'll go to the back row, and then I'll do the back row. Now, when it comes to any of these special events that occur, what you want to do is you want to buy one of them. Okay, it doesn't matter about doing any more. If you've got more, that's great. If you can afford it, that's great. Realistically, you just want one. And the answer is because eventually what's going to happen is you are going to have your main buildings at some point in this game that have been maxed out, and you'll have water to spend and you won't know what to spend it on. So the idea is that if you've got a building, you can keep doing it. Now, if you never purchase that building, you need to wait for a year or however long it is until the event comes up before you can actually access that building again and start to build those stats. So you want to get at least a level 1 of all of those little buildings that come along so that you can then work on them once eventually we max out. And that's it for my account review.